thank you so much for joining us and on this special day. It is a very special day for us. Today is marking the 2 years of Mao's arrest. So I really appreciate you joining us. Rich, you want to take the mic and you can start. Thank you.
Sure. So I feel like I have to do this anyway. This man needs no introduction, and I know we only have you for a few minutes, Steve, but I'll give one anyway. He's the leader of the global populist movement, a host of the global podcast phenomenon War Room, and co-founder of the new federal state of China. Also a victim of lawfare by the administrative state, serving how many months? 4 months.
4 months
in the locker, right?
In a federal prison. Yeah.
For crimes unknown, right?
Yes,
warrior in arms with Mr. Miles Guo and the Lao Bai Sing. Please welcome another important hero in the fight against evil, Mr. Stephen K. Bannon. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, guys, and thank you for doing this for Miles today on the Ides of March. You know, we got a long struggle ahead of us to make sure we get Miles free, and I think now more than ever, if you see with the case that came out of Missouri, where people are finally striking back and trying to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable, and that was about the Wuhan lab. It's everything that Miles told us from the very beginning. So if you look at what's happening in the world today, if you look how aggressive the Chinese Communist Party is, particularly as their economy continues to get worse and Lao Beijing leads a harder life, it's everything Miles warned us about. And that's why I think more than ever, we have to redouble our efforts to try to free Miles Guo.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Trump is at the helm now for what, 55 days or so? But so much damage has been done to our justice system already since, previous years. And when they use these baseless claims and lawfare to imprison Miles and you, of course, when they did that, what do you think actually happened, in your opinion? What actually happened to our country here in the U.S. and to the world?
Well, you can tell. I mean, that's why President Trump is extraordinary what he did yesterday. That's basically unheard of. To go to the president to go to the Justice Department and tell how corrupt it's been. I mean, the lawfare, and look at Miles's case, right? In particular, the charges they threw out versus the ones they kept in, and that was all tied to, I think, CCP element being embedded in this in some of the investor base. But if you look at Miles and look at the Justice Department, how they came after him so viciously, and they came after anybody else associated with taking down the CCP. Whereas they look the other way on the infiltration of our country in every different institution. This is one of the reasons people are starting to get really outraged now. But hopefully, if we do our work and keep our heads down and, grind away, particularly on Miles' situation, I think we'll have a positive outcome. But it's going to take some hard work, right? And it's going to take even harder work to sort out the Justice Department, which is just as, Pam Bondi and Cash and Todd Blanchard, everybody's trying to take, trying to do what they can do. And particularly, they're trying to clean out the rat's nest of the Southern District of New York. You've already seen the problems Pam's had with that already. And, and she's Attorney General of the United States. So I would tell Miles' followers, we have it couldn't be a better cause we're fighting for, because everything Miles has said over the last couple of years has come true. He's been a great prophet as far as the Chinese Communist Party and what they were going to do in regards not just to the United States, but to their own people in the world. And so virtually everything he said, from the pandemic to their infiltration to what they were going to do and try to become a hegemon in East Asia, then on the Eurasian landmass, and then the world has all come true. So now more than ever, I think we need his voice back out here every day, giving people guidance. And that's what our fight, well, that's part of our fight and a big part of our fight.
Yeah. And well, when we look at the fight itself, especially when it comes to this year, what do you think the priorities are for this administration? Do you think we'll see more action? Do you think actual accountability will be had this year in 2025?
Well, I think you're starting to see that already. I think as where President Trump went. Remember, there's still tons of embeds. Look at all the action we're taking on taking down the administrative state and the deep state, and then federal judges have essentially stopped all of it. Now we're in the process, and we're countering that. But you've got these. It's just not simply in Main Justice or in the SDNY, but it's also in the federal judiciary. And look at the judge that Miles had. I mean, she was a total and complete demon, right? So no, we have both a judiciary problem of these Marxists who are much, I think, closer philosophically and ideologically with the criminals, the gang in Beijing. So no, we have for accountability to come through. We got a couple of tough years to clean out these U.S. attorneys' offices, starting with Southern District of New York, Eastern District, Washington, D.C. You've already started that, and you see what a struggle that is. Main justice, the federal judiciary. I think a bunch of these justices should be impeached. We should move on impeachment on a bunch of them. So, no, it's going to be tough. And then if you look at the whole fight this year is going to be the decoupling versus not decoupling. You see President Trump working on the rapprochement with Russia, which I think is critical. But then we've got this whole issue of decoupling, right? And that's going to be another huge fight. So, look, when you take on somebody like the Chinese Communist Party and a group of thugs with that type of power, when they have a grip on China, as great a country that is, and Lao Beijing, as great a people that is, you're in for a fight. And we just have to be, on it every day. What I'd like is a new federal state. The content is getting amazing. I'm reposting it all the time on your daily news post. The shows are getting better, particularly when we work out some of the technical issues. The shows are getting better. The content's better. I'm quite frankly stunned with Miles being really, out of the direct daily loop on the content of the show, because so much of it was driven by Miles's thought. It's really extraordinary the job Forrest and the team have done. Ava and Rob, no, it's just incredible. The quality of the content is as good as anybody out there. And so we just got to keep fighting for Miles and keep fighting for the overall goal to take down the CCP and work with the Lao Beijing for them to free themselves.
Okay.
We're certainly grateful for your support as well, Steve, through this fight.
Rich, can I ask one more question? Steve, I know
Sure.
you have to go. But last question. The day before yesterday, Trump mentioned about Mr. Giuliani, and Mr. Giuliani is the one using the RICO against all the mafias in New York City. And
yes,
we, the NFSC, they tried to put that name on us. Actually, they did. So as part of our movement, so you're already part of us. How do you define NFSC? How do you define our work here? Thank you.
The new federal state of China. I think you're the government in opposition. I think you're the one prominent group. You have the Tiananmen Square groups where you see those guys on the anniversary of Tiananmen Square. You really don't see. There's not really in this country. I said this when I first met Miles. It is not the type of resistance on an organized basis that you should have with Lao Beijing against the Chinese Communist Party, particularly in media centers like New York and Washington, D.C. I think, and when I see the numbers of the Chinese, particularly in places like New York and Brooklyn and Queens, I've been a huge advocate that some of you guys, and I would work with you guys to start running for office. I think we're at that phase of it. But no, I think new federal state is what I call the one organized opposition to the Chinese Communist Party on all fields. And if you look at just between Getter and the news you put up and the hits you do on War Room, you're by far the most prominent of any of the Chinese back groups. I mean, my guys, the Committee on the Present Danger, the Epoch Times, and they have a massive media platform. They're very familiar with your guys' work, et cetera. So no, you were smeared in that case by the Justice Department, by people still haven't answered to us the infiltration of the CCP in the Justice Department. I think it's going to be one of the big endeavors that we have to have, because if you look at their investigations, et cetera, it's quite suspect. But no, new federal state, I think you guys I'm more proud today than when Miles and I started. And if you had told me that, when we started years ago, that we'd be in a situation that Miles would be out of the loop and I'd have already been in prison, but the new federal state was stronger than ever, I would say, well, that's our goal, and I hope it can happen. I wouldn't have thought it would happen. That's why I'm so proud of you guys, because the quality of work you've done, and I'm sure Miles is very proud of you guys also, because just the quality of the work you guys do, which is, given that your main leader was hors de combat, and I've been out for a while, or out of the loop. You guys are amazing, and I think the work you do, the quality of the work you put up on Getter, I think shows that.
Thank you so much, Steve. Really appreciate. So whatever you and Miles and our Free Miles School, take down the CCP. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
guys. Have a great day today. A great day. The Ides of March for Miles Guo. Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.